All right, some of the odds for who will be the Super Bowl MVP. Colin Kaepernick, actually the favorite at 7-4 odds. Joe Flacco at 11-4. And next is Frank Gore at 7-1, as well as Ray Lewis at 7-1. So who do you see as the Super Bowl MVP amongst these players? Well, or maybe someone under the radar we're not thinking of.
Well, I don't want to pick any team because I believe on Thursday
the Midnight
Snack featuring Mocon. But I will say that the winning quarterback will be the MVP.
Usually, in the style of both teams, both run heavy offenses. I think that Ray Rice can be looked upon as being a NFL Super Bowl MVP. Even Frank Gore can be looked upon. Well, Michael James, keep an eye out for him. He could be a dark horse candidate. But again, I think a running back will win this. Colin Kaepernick, between him and Joe Flacco, I like Flacco as the more likely MVP of this game this Sunday.
Would that mean that you're predicting Baltimore to win the Super Bowl?
I never said anything about Baltimore winning yet. Find out on Thursday.
Technically, Stefano, a player from the losing team can win the MVP award. It did happen in 1970 when Chuck Howley with the Dallas Cowboys was the MVP, even though they lost to Baltimore.
All right, well, since we can't reveal any winners, I will go with some of the general team bets.
Yes.
How about the coin toss, Mo? No, just kidding. Team to score first wins the game. The line is yes at minus 180 or no at plus 150.
Team to score first, so i.e. if San Fran scores first, they will win the game, correct?
Correct.
I wouldn't even touch that because it's going to be so close. I think both teams know each other very well. They're both built alike. Tough defenses with strong run games. I think they'll be trading leads probably in the third quarter into the fourth quarter. Like I said, it's going to be a slow unfolding game between the two clubs here. Expect a field goal fest in the first half or so between the two teams.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch this bet at all. I'd say it's a 50-50 proposition, which means you're pretty much going to lose this one.
All right, perhaps this then will, in terms of what you're saying, which will be the highest scoring quarter, and they have the fourth quarter at 2-1 odds, and the first quarter, the longest shot at 4-1. So, and then they have the second quarter at 8-5, and third quarter at 3-1. So, which quarter are you thinking would be the highest scoring?
Fourth quarter. I think the fourth quarter will be a high scoring affair. You look at Joe Flacco, what he did last minute against the Broncos, scores that immaculate mile-high throw to Jacoby Jones to go into overtime. And you look at Colin Kaepernick in the damage he did in the third and fourth quarters of that football game against Atlanta.
And Green Bay.
And Green Bay as well. I do think the fourth quarter will be the higher scoring quarter between the two teams in the four quarters.
I think by the time the fourth quarter starts, the defenses will be completely wiped out, and you're going to see touchdowns on both sides going down the field.
All right, and we have mentioned how these are two great defenses, and we mentioned how special teams will play a factor, so this is quite an interesting bet. Will there be a defensive or special teams touchdown in the game? And they have yes at plus 160 and no at minus 200.
I think so. I really think there will be one. Jacoby Jones has been known to do that. Ted Ginn Jr. can do it as well. You see how these two teams pride themselves on special teams, and I think it will come down to that in this football game. Therefore, I'd say yes, there will be a special teams return, whether it's punt or kickoff.
I do see a special teams turnover being key to this game, but there'll be a turnover, not a touchdown.
All right, and now some of the individual player stats. Joe Flacco, the over-under for his amount of passing yards in the game is at 250. Over or under for Flacco's passing yards?
If I can go first, Mo,
yes, go for it.
I think it's going to be over 250.
I think so, too. I think it's going to be over 250. You look at Joe Flacco and what he's done. He's been cold as ice the last few playoff road games. And now with this being the biggest game of his career, he wants to make a point here. And I think he will. Given the playmakers he has with Ray Rice, Torrey Smith, Anquan Boldin, Dennis Pitta, who's been fantastic so far in the playoffs, Ed Dixon, when healthy, I do think Flacco will have over 250 yards passed in this game, which could lead to him being the NFL MVP.
And now on the other side of things, Colin Kaepernick, a prop bet here is the amount of rushing yards he will have. And right now it is at over under 50.5 yards for Colin Kaepernick. So over or under for rushing yards for him.
If I can go Mocon, I
go
think
for
he's going to get about 60, 65 yards. It'll be more than 50 because when the pass protection breaks down, he's going to be running. And I'm not saying that it's a good thing in terms of winning the football game, because if your pass protection is breaking down often and you run for 100 yards, it's probably meaning that you're going to lose, because your pass protection breaking down means you're going to get sacked and losing big yardage on big plays. But he will get more than 50.
I'm going to say it's going to be around 50. Colin Kaepernick will not have the same success as he did against Green Bay and Atlanta. But mind you, he didn't run as much against Atlanta, whereas against Green Bay, he ran for that big touchdown run, which sealed the deal for the Niners. So I think it'll be the same outcome as against the Atlanta Falcons, where they'll force him to be a pocket passer, and the key is they got to limit him to Vernon Davis, but I think it'll be just below 50 yards rushing for Colin Kaepernick.
And now some of the Harbaugh, there's a whole section actually of Harbaugh family prop bets.
Okay, fair enough, yes.
And obviously that's going to be a big one. So one of them here, how many times will Jack Harbaugh be shown on TV during the game? Of course, their father, over under at 1.5.
You look at 2007 year when Eli played the Giants, when the Giants played the Patriots. And Fox had the game, I believe. I think it was Fox that did the broadcast.
It was Joe Buck and
Troy Aikman, right?
The winning touchdown.
Do you remember how many times they showed Peyton Manning in the fourth quarter of that game? I think what we're going to see is, because CBS does have two cameras devoted to Jim and John Harbaugh, and the fact that what they want to do is incorporate their reactions to a big play that whatever team does during the football game. They will definitely have a camera zeroing on the luxury suite of Mr. Harbaugh. So I think it'll be over for sure.
It'll be over, too. That's definite.
And this next one, you're going to have to listen very carefully if you're betting on it, because the bet is, how many times will Harbaugh be said during the game? Over under at 20.5.
Oh, it'll be way over 20.
Yes.
It's the Super Bowl. Lots of decisions are going to be made on third down, fourth down, whether you kick a field goal or whether you go for it. Goal line situation. So the coach is going to be mentioned at least once every 2 or 3 plays. So you're looking at 120 plays. 130 plays for the game. You're looking at 50, 60 mentions. Easy.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
And now on the entertainment side of things, will Alicia Keys forget at least one word during the national anthem? Yes at plus 200 and no at minus 300.
Before I forget, Jim G, Stefano Mocon here. Game points 514-790-1690. If you want to chime in on your thoughts on the prop bets, 1-866-896-2546. No, Alicia Keys is the Kobe Bryant of musicians. She is fantastic. One of the best voices out there today in the music business, regardless of genre, of whether it's hip-hop, R&B, soul, country, pop, whatever you name it. Alicia Keys, without a doubt, fantastic singer and a beautiful lady on top of that.
I have the entire Alicia Keys collection at home.
Do you really?
She can do no wrong. That girl is on fire.
Wait, seriously, Jim? Is it?
Definitely. I love Alicia Keys.
That's
wow, this is quite a secret we just picked up here.
She's great.
Fair enough. Then here we go. Next one.
All right, let's go back to football now for a bit. Obviously, with Joe Flacco in the game and Colin Kaepernick, that's a big chance at having some big plays in this game. So the longest touchdown will be over under 46.5 yards.
No, I think it's going to be under. Yes, Torrey Smith has that big play potential. Niners don't have that. Vernon Davis is their deep threat guy, but how many times does he go deep? And I think if it's going to come from anyone, it's the Ravens with Torrey Smith. Even Icon Bolden has had a few big catches along the way. So I say no, but the likely probabilities from the Ravens going into this game.
No, I think it's going to be any touchdown pass will be less than 46 yards. These two defenses are going to keep everything in front. They'll let you nickel and dime going down the field, but they're not going to give up a 60-yard touchdown on a single play.
One more prop bet. Here we go, Steph and Jim.
Steph and Jim?
Yeah.
All right, let's start. Let's go back to the Harbaughs, and this is going to be after the game. How long will the post-game handshake/hug last between Jim and John Harbaugh? The over-under is listed at 7.5 seconds.
It's going to go well over 7.5. I think it'll go like 10, 15. We're looking at the 15-second territory here. I think it'll be well over 7.5.
I think it'll be well over 7.5. It'll be a handshake, a hug, and then they'll both walk towards the dressing room for about 5 to 10 seconds, just making some small talk before they separate.
And I love you, man. I love you, man. Good job. Great job. I love you, man.
So we're not going to see a repeat of Bill Belichick from Super Bowl 42 and one of them trying to beat the traffic.
No, not at all. Far from it.